Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about what I think that should be the plan for publishing Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition, specifically for the print version, and what should specifically happen for Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, and Year 5 of publication for Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition, okay? So one, just to be clear, for the purposes of this video, assume that the online version is available, and assume that the regular core tabletop role-playing game, Dungeons & Dragons, 3 core rulebooks are already available on print. They're sitting on Barnes & Noble shelves, right? So you got the DMG, you got the PHB, and you got the Monster Manual. I will absolutely buy the online version, and I will buy the print version, right? The standard Muggle version, right? This is what most players, most DMs are going to get, right? But one of the things that's really cool now is we've already got this for 5th edition, and I think we're going to see a lot of this for 6th edition. And I have and so my plan is a 4-year slipcover plan, right? 4 different slipcover versions of all 3 books. 1 for Year 2, 1 for Year 3, 1 for Year 4, 1 for Year 5. And I'll define exactly what those plans are. But first I want to talk about these special editions. So basically right now we already have at least two different special editions of 5th edition, where 1, it comes in a slipcase, and 2, it has new covers, right? I absolutely love those. I think those are fantastic. Now, just to be clear, I don't own them, right? And my plan is for 6th edition, I am planning on owning 3 versions of the game. I will own the online, the normal printed version, and I would like to get a slipcover case. And my plan that I think they should implement for Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition is that there should be 4 different ones of these. All right. So what would they do? So each year, so for Year 1, you're just going to get your normal bog standard Dungeons & Dragons version, right? And I'm about to tell you this 4-year slipcover plan. Now, why do we need all these extra special edition slipcovers, right? Well, the reason why is, this is sad in my opinion, but it's a fact, right? We already know this, right? I think already I feel that the art in Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition is going to be pretty bad. Right now, what do I mean by that? Well, one, I think the quality of the art is going to be incredible. There, like Wizards of the Coast has access to some of the absolute best artists in the world, right? But here's my issue, right? One, it's going to be multiple artists. There's going to be no less than 10 or 20 artists for the Dungeons & Dragons game, right? Now, the reality is, I just read Zweihander RPG, Grim and Perilous. One artist, right? There was an extra artist for the cover, but the whole book, 669 pages, you got one artist in there, right? And the reality is, the art team on that was very tight, very constrained, and that book had cool art, right? And I have really fallen in love with one person's vision for a story, for a story, right? And the reality is, Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition is going to be the farthest thing from that. There's going to be 10, 20 different artists, right? And the reality is, I really don't like the art in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. The quality of each piece is fine, but it's not cohesive, right? Like, basically, there's a whole bunch of different artists in there. They all have a different vision of what's happening. There's a whole bunch of different formats. Some look like they're sketches. Some look like they're really nice sketches that you would find in a comic book, right? That have been inked, that are really solid. Some of them look like paintings, right? It's a mishmash. It's just a horrible mishmash, and I really don't like the art in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, right? The quality of the art is fantastic. It's the art design. It's the curation. The curation is terrible, right? Like, it's not cohesive. It's just a mishmash, right? And I really, really dislike it, right? And here's the other big one, right? Here's the reason why 6E is going to be even worse. It's going to be this big old mishmash of a whole bunch of different artists, but even worse than that, I guarantee you, they're going to come at the art for Dungeons & Dragons with a checklist of 20 plus different criteria. It's going to be, hey, here's a box. Did we check it? Here's a box. Did we check it? Here's a box. Did we check it? Right? And to me, there's one box. There's 2 boxes. Did we have cool monsters? did we have cool heroes, right? And do they look amazing, right? That's 3 boxes. There should be 3 boxes, right? And honestly, that's the problem with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and that is absolutely going to be way worse in Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition. There's going to be so many boxes that they're trying to check, right, that I don't think they have any hope. Like that getting cool monsters, cool heroes, and it all looking amazing, and it all looking cohesive. Sorry, I guess there are 4 boxes there. That's going to be the last on the list, man. It's going to be the last on the list. Last on the list. So I don't think there's a hope and a prayer that the art in Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition is going to be good. Every piece will look amazing, right? Every piece will be quality. There will be world-class artists on it. But it's going to be like, it's going to be like somebody cooked you a Japanese meal and somebody cooked you, and then the next plate is McDonald's, and then the next plate is Jamaican, and then the next plate is, is Polish, and it's a mishmash. It's not my thing, right? I'd rather go, for one project, have one vision, have one style, right? It's what I prefer. So here is my plan for year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and what they should do. Every single one should be a slipcase containing DMG, PHB, and MM, right? And then what they should do is they should hire one artist to do all the art, right? And one company to do all the layout, right? And then they should lay it out differently. You should take all the same words, but do different layout and different art, okay? Year 2 should be a slipcase done by Brandish Gilhelm, right? He's an absolutely amazing artist. He works for Runehammer Games, and the company that would do the layout would be Runehammer Games. Now, what would you get for this, right? Well, you would get something very specific, and that would be Brandish Gilhelm has a limited palette. He only uses white, black, and red, and his material is very, it's like a Sharpie sketch style, and it is absolutely stunning. And I think having an entire version, all 3 books done in one style, would be just incredible. And I think it would take one artist a year to build this, right? And it would take that company, you could give the artist 10 months to do all the drawings for all 3 books, and then you could give the company 2 months to lay it out, or 1 month to lay it out and 1 month to print, right? And you could just fire these off, and you would be doing 1 per year. And the other thing is, I would be cool paying a premium. I would definitely pay up to $200 for a slipcover of these, and I would be totally okay with them making them very limited, like maybe 10 or 20,000 printings, right? I think that'd be totally fine, right? And I think these things, you would definitely get your money back because you have such a small team. You could pay them well, and I think these would be really profitable. So year 2, year 1 is the average bog standard Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition, right? And with the art in it. And I'll own that because I want to play in the first year, right? But I'll be waiting for these more beautiful versions later, right? So year 2 would be Brandish Gilhelm and Runehammer. Year 3 would be Jim Lee, the famous comic book artist, and I would hire Green Ronin to do the layout, right? And so Jim Lee, he's really famous. He drew Batman. He'd be incredibly talented. He's incredibly talented, and I think, just having that really crisp, cool, really articulate comic book style, having, the PHB, the DMG, and the monster manual in that, oh, that would be super dope, man. I would really, really like that. I think it would just be absolutely beautiful. All right. What would I do for so that would be year 3, okay? Year 4, I would do specifically Kaoru Mori. Kaoru Mori is a manga artist. She's a female manga artist. She does absolutely breathtaking work. She did a story called Bride Story, which is beautifully illustrated. And I would use the company Modifius, an international TTRPG publisher, to do the layout. And I think that would be just an unbelievable slipcase collection. It would be really, really stunning. I think it just worked fantastic. And then last, for year 5, I would do Jonathan Hickman. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Jonathan Hickman, what are you talking about? Right? Well, he is actually a writer. He's not an artist, right? However, he gives art direction when he does the Marvel books, and he actually works for Marvel. And what he has done is he brought data visualization to the Marvel comic books. So like when you read a Jonathan Hickman book, right? One of the things he does is he uses visual icons. So he set down these amazing visual icons where it's just like it's like the size of a coin, and then it's like a symbol. It's a stylized symbol, right? And there's one of these for every single character that's in his book, right? So he can use these stylized symbols, and you can know whose dialogue belongs to who, right? In addition to that, he's really fantastic about using data visualization techniques to tell story, right? And then, of course, he would work with Renegade Games on layout and specifically create a data visualized execution of the DMG, the PHB, and the Monster Manual. I think this would be stunning, and I actually think it would be quite revolutionary within TTRPGs. Now, the reason why I'm saying that they should go ahead and do all this, right? Year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, 4 different slipcases is one. I think this would be super profitable, and the reason why is I really think Wizards of the Coast has figured this out, right? The smartest people in the world are playing Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody who's playing, like, at the macro level, everybody who's playing Dungeons and Dragons is making bank, right? Because the only people playing Dungeons and Dragons who really are sitting down, and I'm not talking chumps who just watch through the latest Critical Role. I'm talking people who actually play the game, right? We're talking about people who are buying 750 pages worth of rules. They're super intelligent, super creative, and super artistic, right? And they're almost all knowledge workers, right? And they got money. Like, they have money like crazy. And frankly, the people who came up through 5th edition are going to have even more money in 6th edition. So the people who buy Dungeons and Dragons, it is one of the richest, like, literally one of the richest groups in America, right? As far at the macro, well, I don't think. Yeah, I actually think there's quite a few millionaires who are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and there are absolutely people in the six-figure bracket who are playing Dungeons and Dragons. So this would be profitable, right? So this would be very profitable. And then the other thing is, I really think Dungeons and Dragons should really firmly hug the concept that they are a powerful guardian of print. They truly are a guardian of print. Print is under absolute assault, and Dungeons. There's going to be 3 things printed in the future: tabletop role-playing games, comic books, and holy text. That's it. That's all that's going to get printed. Okay, right? And every single one of them has a really special reason, right? Comic books, they need to be printed because there's a history of collection there, right? Tabletop role-playing games need to be printed because there's a tradition of putting prose and art together in a book. And sacred texts need to be printed, and the reason why is they want to know if somebody changes those words, right? So all 3 of those have real reasons to be printed. And Dungeons and Dragons, I truly believe, should really, really be very careful and do a very strong recognition of the fact that they are uniquely a print medium, right? I think it's really, really important. That is all my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. Please let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.